Greetings, Earthlings. I don't have a presentation today. We're just going to do a talk. We're going to talk about saying goodbye to the mind virus, to the highly contagious, cannibalistic mind virus. Bye. Goodbye. We don't want it anymore. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We don't want it anymore. The mind virus that gets us to be afraid of the future, worried about the past, the mind virus that has us worried about homophobia, transphobia, racism, anti-Semitism, ists and phobes, istophobes. It's a mind virus. Goodbye to the mind virus that makes me think I have to fight my neighbor, that my neighbor is trying to harm me, that my fellow American, my fellow human being is trying to harm me. Bye, bitches. Bye. Are you ready? Let's go.
He was once a storm in human form, sharp tongue, cold soul, heart worn and torn, living like a ghost who missed his grave till the spirit sang out and called him brave. He got rewired by the great unknown, heard the call like a dial tone to the bone. So pull up a chair, enjoy the glow. This is the Shaman Patrick Show.
I never used to watch the news or even broadcast television. Let me tell you what happened to me in 2008. I was playing Silent Hill Revelations. I was working for Marlboro. And I was also working on a novel, which would eventually be called Heartless. Now, in 2008, I was also drinking heavily and occasionally doing meth. And I had just broken up with a guy, and it was wrecking me. I was so heartbroken. I had real problems going on. I had trouble paying my rent. I had real problems going on. I never watched the news. I never watched that. I didn't have time to worry about what was going on in the news. Neither did any of the alcoholics or drug addicts that I hang out with. You know, alcoholism is a miserable experience. But the benefit is that you get to get drunk and get high, so you don't really know how miserable you are. It's crazy, isn't it? And so I never really knew what was going on outside of my party club. In Nashville, I had lots of friends. There was always somebody I could call and say, hey, you want to go hang out? Hey, you want to do this? You want to do that? You want to have sex? It was just, you want to listen to music? There's always somebody to do or something to do. Where are you going to fit news in there? No sane person watches the news. To be clear, no sane person pays attention to any of that stuff. So there you have it. There you have it. Should I have said it that way? No. No one in their right mind would waste fucking time with the news. Because the news is how that mind virus gets you. So in 2008, I just had this epiphany that I was wasting time with this video game, Silent Hill Revelations. So I would play it during the day, and I would go to work. I used to go to work at like 9 o'clock at night for Marlboro and get off work at like 3, 4 in the morning. Party with some people and then go to bed about 6 or 7. So I would play it during the day. But one day, it was my day off. I was trying to kill this monster. I didn't have enough bullets. And I was like, this is dumb. And I just put the controller down. I put the controller clean down. I remember that day. I've told this story to my husband a lot. I just put the controller down. And then I went on to Craigslist. And I put it all for sale. My HD TV, my Wii, my Xbox 360, even my Nintendo DS. I put it all. I was like, I'm done. I have real monsters to fight in my life. I have real things that I need to do. Primarily, I need to finish this fucking book. Because it was going to be my third novel, and it was going to be weirder and wilder than anything I'd ever written. And so I was like, okay, let's go. And all that money I got, I spent on a big old blowout party. Because after this party, I was going to get right to work and get to work on this novel. All I was going to do was work on this novel and go to my job. And I did for a while. Still partied, still did all that stuff. But I no longer had a TV to waste my time with. I no longer had any of that stuff anymore. And man, did it feel good. Man, did it feel good. And I didn't have a TV for a couple years. And all I had was my laptop. And you know what? It was nice to be somewhat disconnected from everything. And I never really interacted with people who watch the news. I would just go, people who hang out in bars and stuff, we're not watching the news. We're not watching. I was in the pub culture in East Nashville at that time, 2010. And so I didn't really ever really have a TV in my life until after I got sober. I didn't really have a TV. It was just me and a computer and a phone. Yeah. And I remember when it was 2018, it was like spring, like May, June. I decided that I was going to get a TV, and it was like a 45-inch, like big screen. I'd never had a TV that big. I went to Target, and it wasn't like that much. It was like $300. But $300 to me was like a lot to buy for something. I could do things that were good for myself. But, you know, I just made this friend, Merrick. He was a new friend of mine, and he had a TV at his apartment. And I was like, you know what? I might want to have Merrick over and watch a movie or something. You know, I don't know. And so I got this TV. And even the process of getting it, like I would go there and look at it and like, what if it breaks? What if it gets stolen? Finally, the clerk that works at Target said, just buy the fucking TV, man. You've been here like 4 days. Just buy it. So I did. I had it delivered. I had a friend over. I won't say her name, but I hope she's doing well. And they brought the TV over. She also had been living in a nursing home, psychiatric nursing home as well. So we bought it. We got it out of the box. We set it up. And, you know, from both of us coming from an institutionalized background, you know, like we didn't really have this kind of thing going on. So when we turned it on and we started to watch something, I signed into my Netflix account, and she and I were like, oh my God, this is so big. Oh God, we haven't, you know, you can't imagine when you're gone from Gen Pop for a while, you forget these things. You forget how these things work. I mean, now I sit in front of a TV that's even bigger than that one, and it seems small sometimes. But I remember her and I sitting on my couch, and like if there was a scene with two people on the screen, we were like, we'd have to look at the one. It was wild. It was wild. So still not going to watch broadcast television. Still not going to watch the news. Still not going to do any of that. The only time I really watched the news was during elections or events. I definitely didn't keep up with it very much. There was this CBS News app that I would watch in the morning just out of habit while I was drinking my coffee, you know, because I was a sober person then and I wanted to be respectable. But it really got crazy when Merrick and I went to visit my aunt, and we stayed with her for a weekend, and she watched the news during the day, at night, and in the evening before bed. And she was very angry and upset about all these things on the news. You know, she had copies of Newsweek laying out on her coffee table, and I'm reading Newsweek, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. This isn't true. Like, she would watch things on the news, and I'm like, this isn't true. Like, these things are objectively not true, because you could just see that they weren't true. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it, but, you know, I could just tell they weren't true. The world doesn't work that way. But I tried to explain to her how it could not be true. I even looked at documents that I would pull up on the internet for her to look at. I would say, see, here you go. She goes, well, that's not what they say on the news. And so in an appeal to get along with people, I started watching the news and trying to understand it. And then I got on this treadmill of information where if I were to hang out with them, they would need to tell me something. And then I would say, well, that's not true. So then I had to watch the news to protect myself against the crazy shit that was going to come out of these people's mouth. Does it sound crazy? Yes, because it is. It is very crazy. I've talked to several people who felt like they had to do this because these people would come at you all fists and elbows full of all sorts of crazy shit. And you're like, oh. So I went through all of that. You know, I went down that road with people. And eventually I just couldn't hang out with people who were living their lives based upon what they were hearing on the news. It just became too much because so aggressive in it, so aggressive in it, and basically just repeating lies. And eventually I got to the point where I would just tell people, I don't watch the news. And then I just got to the point of saying, I'm retarded. I have no idea what you're talking about. I had to play dumb around people. I had to just get to the point where I'm like, I've got a brain injury. I don't know. Or sometimes I thought of like being like a fainting goat. Like when anybody wanted to tell me some cockamamie shit, I'd just go and just fall over. You know, and even in doing this YouTube channel and even in doing the live streams, you know, sometimes people want to bring me something. They want to bring me something that's sort of infected by this mind virus. Something to do with fear, something to do with the future, something to do with, Patrick, you don't understand. And here's the thing, I'm willing to understand to a certain point, you know, but, you know, recently the Palantir fear, the AI fear seems to all come from one person, Whitney Webb. We have a nickname for her around our household, Mid Whitney Webb. She's just a Marxist revolutionary. That's all that's going on. That's part of the mind virus, that Marxist revolutionary shit. I'm not playing with that shit anymore. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. You know, I'm not. Once you know what Marxist and communist propaganda is, it's easy to ignore. But but being part of a mind virus, it infects people, and their personalities go away. They have no personalities anymore. They just become regurgitators of this nonsense. And the fact that I'm not afraid of it is that I don't understand it. When people who are afraid of it are just regurgitating things from Mid Whitney Webb, I mean, bye-bye. I'm out of it. And you know, I did videos on Aubrey Marcus, and I listened to the man. I spent hours of my life listening to that man when all I had to do was say he's just a druggie. You know, I listened to podcast after podcast from Alex Karp, Peter Thiel. I found out how Palantir software really works. There's nothing to be afraid of. End of story. That's it. Done. There's nothing to be afraid of. That's it. Bye-bye, mind virus. Bye-bye. Because anything that wants others to be afraid is a mind virus. It's a cannibalistic mind virus. Anything that causes division, separations, us versus them, demonization and dehumanization of other people. Even Peter Thiel, even Elon Musk, even Bill Gates, even the people you love to hate. If you could dehumanize and demonize people enough, you can do anything you want to them. I saw a quote from Blair White. They don't They don't call you a Nazi because they think you're a Nazi. They call you a Nazi so that they can kill you. Essentially, the name calling, saying people are evil, this person's evil, this person's evil, acting like America shouldn't have a military or have intelligence agency or a defense department or closed borders or healthy food or just mid-wit brain rot shit. Bye-bye. Bye, mind virus. Bye. Because it's all designed to cannibalize you. Yeah, a lot of it comes from the ego and a lot of it is pain body. And pain body itself is highly, highly contagious. You know what? And I'm willing to chalk it up to that. You know, people who are suffering so much and they're so afraid and they need their fear to be validated. They need their victimhood to be validated. They need all that stuff to be valid. Please, won't you validate me and my emotions? Many people are afraid of things that are not even real. Things that will probably never come to pass. You have people who are mad about things that never even happened. I mean, and personally, I'll tell you, people are really mad at me right now for things I'm not doing. Yeah, I was talking about this with my husband, and you know, I'm kind of like, will I ever hear from anybody in my family again? Will I ever, you know? And when I didn't go to my dad's funeral, you know, I wasn't like, when they called me, it wasn't, Patrick, are you okay? You weren't at your father's funeral. Are you sick? Are you okay? It wasn't that. It was, why the hell weren't you at your dad's funeral? What, you know, my sister didn't want it. Nobody wanted to talk to me. So it's like, and you get to a point in your healing where people are upset at you, not for the things that you're doing, but for the things that you're not doing. You're not giving in to the emotional blackmail anymore. You're not giving in to the tantrums by 70-year-old women. You're just like, what are you going to do when an 80-year-old is throwing a tantrum in front of you? You know, and I want to go back to listening to people who know what they're talking about. I want to go back to the experts. I want to go back to listening to these people, not the midwits, not the conspiracy people. I almost said conspiratards, but I'm getting to that point because, you know, there are some conspiracy theories that lift you up and they give you hope. And then there are some conspiracy theories that are just hopeless, bottomless pits of despair. And I'm not saying that either of them are wrong, but I just want to get to a point where let's get present. Let's get focused. If we can't really know if something is going on, why even bother with it, right? Why even bother with it? I'm ready to get really grounded in spirituality and shamanism and sort of getting away from the let me put it to you this way. You have shit going on in your life. I bet you. I bet you got shit going on in your life. Are all your bills paid? Are you out of debt? Are you speaking to your children? Are your children speaking to you? What is going on in your life that needs focus, that demands immediate focus? Where are people getting the time to wax and wane on things that they don't even know about? And you know, this Charlie Kirk thing was a come to Jesus for me. I spent so much time researching that for what? To calm people down. Oh, well, now I'm just going to calm people down. Hey, there's nothing to worry about. I don't need to make a 5-hour deep dive on a topic to tell you that I've examined it. You know, I don't need to do a 7-hour, but even though they are fun, they are entertaining. I don't need to do a 7-hour focus group on on, like, see, here's the thing about Mid Whitney. You have to verify that shit. Almost every fear-mongery thing that I've seen about AI is based on what Whitney Webb has said. And Whitney Webb takes things out of context. She takes quotes out of context. She'll say, well, Alex Karp said that blah, 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 blah. And CIA, CIA, they got money from the Pentagon. It just sounds retarded to me. Who the fuck cares? What's who's going to run the government? Who's going to do all this shit? You know, if all this shit is coming, let it come. Let it come. Who cares? Everything in my life has come. Everything in your life has come. Guess what? In 2016, Trump got elected, and people have never been the same. They are freaked out and fucked up. They have let this man destroy their lives, their relationships, their jobs. Now people are getting fired because of their political outbursts and outrages. Let's reel this shit in. Let's reel this shit in. Find something better to do with your time. Find something better to do with your time. And it doesn't mean that you keep your head in the sand or that you ignore it. But do you know that everything you're seeing right now on the news is probably part of an ongoing psyop or a color revolution or something? So you can't really ever, during a time like this, you're not going to know what's going on anyway. So why even bother? Why even bother? Because it'll hook you like it hooked me. And I'm looking up all these things and analyzing things. For what? I already knew it was bullshit. I already knew it was bullshit. About 24 hours later, I'm like, woo, yeah, it's probably all bullshit. It's like that with a lot of things. So here's what we're going to do. And in our house, we're going to let that shit be. We're going to let it be. We're going to let the Republicans be. We're going to let the Democrats be. We're going to let I don't know, we're going to let Charlie Kirk and his family be. We're going to let Candace Owens be. We're going to let Tucker Carlson be. We're going to let David Pakman be. We don't need to be listening to all these alternative opinions all the time about things that may not even be real in the first place. We're going to reel it in. We're going to dial it down. We're going to refocus it back on what's important. You know, we're going to take a cue from the guy that does the retard maxing. Just get retarded about it. Get stupid about it. Be wise enough to know that it's all bullshit. Turn it down. Dial it down. Not a big deal. Let Aubrey Marcus be. Let it all be. Let seed oils be. Let fast food be. Just let it all be. Let it all be. You know, and I think it's narcissistic to worry about mass surveillance. I think it's a delusion of self-importance. Really, probably the reason they want to surveil everybody is for advertising and business and political reasons. That's pretty much it. But if you don't care about that, if you say, okay, I'm retarded, I don't care. I'm dumb. I'm a dumb ass. You know? And, you know, there are people out there who have master's degrees who are all intellectual about this shit. They're like, well, Patrick, I am a political science major. I have a master's degree. And to them, I say, fuck your master's degree. You paid all that money just to be a dumbass. Congratulations. You played yourself. Yeah, because there's more to life than just amassing great wealth. There's more to life than being an expert on Israel-Palestinian relationships. Congratulations. How does that affect you? At all? How does it affect you at all? It doesn't. It doesn't. Because here's the thing. Here's what I've learned playing Silk Song. I'm a bug and you're a bug. And we're not running the country. Most of y'all can't even run your own lives. Myself included. So why are we worried about geopolitical events and intrigue and like we fucking matter? And the politics of it all. Yeah, I think this all started when some people came into the chat and were like, "Oh, Patrick, you don't understand. You don't understand." And I'm like, but I felt like I had to prove that I understood. I felt like I had to prove it. And yeah, I still want to talk about current events when they happen. But the only reason I would do that would be to calm people down. To calm people down. You have to realize most people in America have been brainwashed and programmed for years. They're like zombies. They act out of their own worst interest. They aren't able to think for themselves. They aren't able to do things for themselves. And you can go crazy trying to wake those people up. So I'm just going to let those people be. I'm going to let them be. I'm just going to let it all be. Let it all be. There's really nothing to be afraid of. At all. Except maybe stubbing your toe, falling on ice, running out of milk when you need to make biscuits. I mean, these are things to be afraid of. But then again, it's not fear. I think the thing here, thank you, spirits. We have never been safer. Okay? We are so safe that the ego has nothing to do. So the ego with nothing to do will invent things for you to be afraid of, or for things for you to be scared of. And if you want to know more about that, we wrote it in this book. Yes, this is a plug for our book, but it would help eliminate a lot of fear. When you know that someone has a conditioned mind, it's easy to ignore them. It's so easy to ignore a conditioned mind. It really, really is. If you would like to get a copy of that book, head on over to our website at concreteshamans.com. Get it, read it, wake the fuck up. And I'm going to prepare you for our Ender of Minds deck, a Lovecraftian tool, coming soon to Kickstarter. All right, done with the commercials, done with the promos, you see. But yeah, say goodbye to the mind virus. Say goodbye. Here, do it with me now. There's nothing serious going on. There's nothing serious going on. And I'm not doing that from a place of I'm ignoring things. I actually looked at all that shit. I looked at all that stuff. I still don't see anything for us to be worried about. Us bugs, us little people. We don't matter. Thank God. Thank God. See, the ego wants to be so important. I don't want to be important. I don't want to be important. I kind of want to be a nobody, you know? It's like, what do I matter? Yeah, I used to be afraid of speaking my mind and my truth. I said my truth. The truth on this channel because I thought people would come after me. And you know what? So what? Who cares? I'm a nobody. I'm a nobody. I'm nobody. I'm no one. Why does any of it matter? Because that's the ego. Something about the Charlie Kirk thing broke me open and I shifted, but I was already shifting before that. I don't know if it was Charlie Kirk or something else, but don't know, don't care. Don't know, don't care. So the mind virus, say goodbye to it. Say goodbye to the symptoms of it. Say goodbye to the symptoms of the virus, the cannibalistic mind virus. Because I've been in a hermit mode since February of 2024. And pretty soon I'll have been in this hermit mode for 2 years. It has taken me almost damn near 2 years to disinfect myself from all that shit. Man. And when I'm fully disinfected from it, I wonder if it'll be more like a permanent inoculation, because I don't have to go to a job and deal with people who are infected. I don't have to go anywhere to deal with people who are infected. The most I have to deal with people who are infected is when I go to recovery meetings, but I can just let it go in one ear and out the other because I'm only there a short amount of time. But what a gift this has been, this couple of years, to just be able to just kind of heal, detox, disinfect, and get a really good inoculation against this kind of virus, this mind virus. So I'm saying goodbye to it. You can say goodbye to it too. Bye-bye. Bye, bitch. So long. Sayonara, motherfucker. Bye. And so you might have someone come up to you as you're being stupid and dumb and being silly. You know, they'll say, "Why are you laughing? You shouldn't be laughing. These are not times to be laughing." And to them, you'll say, "Oh, I am serious right now. If I'm laughing, I'm probably more serious than I should be." And when those smart people come up to you, you know, those psychologists and people with degrees, and what do y'all call, like, people with BS, and I don't know. Y'all, you therapists out there would know, but you could just say, they go, "Well, I have a master's degree," and you just say, "Fuck your master's degree." Doesn't really matter. You use your master's degree at work, at your job. Your master's degree don't matter at when you're shopping at Walmart, unless I'm not getting involved in that. I'm just gonna get dumb, get stupid and dumb, but also wise, because a wise person would say, "This is dumb, so dumb." All right, that's all I have for you today. I love you all so much. If you want to support this channel and the work we do, like and subscribe, comment, or use an emoji if you've got nothing to say. Share this content with others. Thank you for watching and growing with us. And with that said, this is our AI song, "Fuck Your Master's Degree." Mwah.
You sat there with your clipboard smile, diagnosing me the whole damn while. You said I had issues, you said I should pay, but baby, you were the problem every day. You got your letters, your fancy degree, but you couldn't heal the wreck inside of me. I needed love, not your therapy fee, so here's my final diagnosis, please. Fuck your master's degree. You don't know a damn thing about me. You broke my heart, now you're history. Pack your couch and your pity party. Fuck your master's degree. Every session was just a fight. Gaslight gospel in the middle of the night. You wore therapists like a crown of thorns, but you stabbed me deeper with every form. You analyzed me while you tore me apart, but Freud don't cover a cold black heart. You think you're brilliant, but here's the tea. Your diploma don't mean shit to me. Fuck your master's degree. You don't know a damn thing about me. You broke my heart, now you're history. Take your textbooks, burn the fantasy. Fuck your master's degree. Oh, Dr. Disaster, Miss Know-It-All Queen. You study dysfunction, but you're still mean. You can't prescribe what you can't see. The cure is me walking free. Fuck your master's degree. You don't know a damn thing about me. You broke my heart, now I'm finally free. Your therapy's just a block.